What's up YouTube? This is Galactigod and I've come over to Imco40's channel once again to have another one of our deck building challenges. Today we're going to be showcasing our ice barrier decks. Essentially how these challenges work is I go onto his channel and I present to you guys my version of the deck, and then he goes onto my channel and presents his version of the deck, and then you guys let us know who you think made the better build down in the comment section below. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into things and get right to that deck profile. Alright YouTube, here is my ice barrier deck. The deck more or less revolves around getting General Guntala out and then maintaining field presence with his effect. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly run through the deck list, and then I'm going to kind of give you just a quick example on how essentially the deck works. So, of course, we're playing our one General Guntala. I messed around with 2 and even 3 copies of this card at one point, but I really think just 1 is all you need. As long as he doesn't get bottomless or deprisoned or something like that, you should be fine with just the 1. From there, we're playing 3 copies prior of the Ice Barrier. This card, I really wish would have came out and hit an arsenal, or was even, made a super rare in the set that he originally came out in, because he's just too good. He really makes ice barriers that much more playable and General Guntala that much more effective. And we'll get into kind of a little bit more on how these 2 cards interact with each other and work in a little bit. From there, we're playing 3 copies of the Strategist. This is one of our draw engines of the deck. For those of you guys who don't know, Strategist effect is you discard an ice barrier monster and then you draw a card. Pretty cool. It works really well with General Guntala because ideally you want Guntala in the graveyard so that Prior is always live with him. From there, we're playing 3 copies of Blizzard, the Defender of the Ice Barrier. When this card is destroyed by battle, you draw a card. He also works good because you can discard him with Strategist rather easily too. So if you need to stall and set up, you can always just set him. Otherwise, you just discard him with Strategist. From there, we're playing 1 copy of Fishborg Archer. I like this card a lot. He works really good with some of the other cards in the deck. I mean, discarding, an Ice Barrier monster, especially Guntala, the graveyard special summon him is nice. Then you can kind of go off with some other plays. I also got 1 Aqua Spirit in there. There's a lot of waters in here, so removing is not too hard. Plus, you can get some really cool plays going. You can, discard a water monster to special summon your Fishborg Blaster, and then you can remove that water monster to summon out Aqua Spirit, and then you can go in either for a Gungnir or even a Black Rose play if your opponent hasn't stopped on your stuff yet, and maybe they got 2 or 3 or 4 even back row and you're just trying to get rid of it. So pretty cool. From there, we have 2 copies of Tidal. Pretty self-explanatory in a water deck, I think. Lots of cool plays. His effect works really good too because you can discard a water monster from your deck to the graveyard, so you can get that Guntala in there fast, or even your Fishborg Archer into the graveyard relatively fast with his effect. The one besides special summoning. From there, we do have 2 copies of Effect Veiler and then 2 copies of Max Seed to just kind of round up the rest of the monsters in the deck. Alright, so for spells, we are playing 3 copies of Medallion of the Ice Barrier. This is our E-Call or Rhoda of the deck. Lets you grab any Ice Barrier monster you want from your deck and add it to your hand, including Guntala. There's no level restriction or anything like that on there. From there, we have 2 copies of Salvage. This card works extremely well for getting back your priors to your hand so that you can then reuse it to get Guntala. You can also grab Blizzards or even Fishborg if you're so inclined. Then from there, we have 2 copies of Surface. This is cool because it doesn't negate effects, so you can just bring out your Prior and then tribute him right away to bring out Guntala. Then Guntala brings back out Prior, so pretty neat. Moria Agree is for when you get those really weird, awkward water hands. Plus, drawing is always nice. We got a Book of Moon, Dark Hole, a couple of MSTs, and then finally 2 copies of Pot of Duality to try and get to our medallions faster, and then go into our plays from there. Alright, so that's going to round up the spell cards. Alright, so for traps, we're playing 2 copies of Fiendish Chain. This is pretty cool. It works good with our Doloran really well. From there, we have 2 copies of Mirror Force. I know a lot of people are not digging on Mirror Force right now. Let's see, it's kind of unneeded. And I guess when you're playing against, Dragon Rulers or something, it doesn't really help as much as other cards do. But, for those rogue matches or even, random people who just try and go off for no reason. Mirror Force I still think works pretty well. We also got Torrential, Compulse, Bottomless, and Solemn Warning to kind of round up our trap count. Alright, so for our extra deck we have Catastor, Dolorn, Gungnir, Black Rose Dragon, Crimson Blader, Scrap Dragon, and Stardust Dragon. This is our synchro aspect of the extra deck. Some of these cards I think are kind of interchangeable or player preference. I really like having the actual Ice Barrier synchros in here because you can special summon them back with Prior's Effect, which is kind of nice. Gungnir has a nice little destruction effect as well, which can come in handy. So these are kind of the build that I've been going with. You can interchange these with whatever ones that you kind of so prefer. For Exceeds, I have one Gotchi. There's some level 2s in here with Priors and whatnot, so you could make Gotchi. From rank 4s, we have Cowboy, Black Ship, Diamond Dire Wolf, and Lavalval Chain. That's pretty much our rank 4s. For rank 7s, we have Master of Blades, number 11 Big Eye, and then Mecha Phantom Beast Draco Sack. You can go into level 7s, or excuse me, rank 7s, I should say, pretty easy. You just need to get Gantala out, which is not too hard with Prior's Effect, and then you just summon out your title, and there you go. And that's going to round up the extra deck. Alright, so the main purpose of the deck is really just to get Gungnir out to the field, and then maintain field presence with him. You first need to get him into the graveyard. You can do that with any of these cards right here. Either Strategist or Title or Fishborg Archer will help you get your General Gantala into the graveyard. You could add in a copy of Foolish Burial if you want to try and speed things up, although I noticed that if you draw General Gantala before you get your Foolish, then it becomes rather a dead card, as there's not too many other things. I mean, you could always throw in your Title or your Fishborg into the graveyard, I suppose, but General Gantala is really the main thing you want to get in there. Once General Gantala gets into the graveyard, your Prior of the Ice Barrier becomes very live. His effect is you can tribute him off to special summon any Ice Barrier monster from your graveyard to the field. You would immediately bring out Gantala. Gantala's effect is during the end phase you can special summon an Ice Barrier monster from your graveyard. So you would bring back out Prior. So if for some reason they killed off General Gantala on their turn, you can simply use Prior's Effect during your turn to bring Gantala back to the field. Now, once you have Gantala back on your field, you can use his effect during the end phase to bring back out your Prior. So if they try and go and just kill Prior on your next turn, you can use Gantala's effect once again to bring him out. So you get a nice little mini loop going on here. If for some reason they manage to get around both of these and they get Gantala and Prior to the graveyard, either with Dark Hole or just kind of try and overwhelm the field, you have these 3 cards right here to kind of help you get a Prior back, either by getting it back to your hand or special summoning it right to the field. Then you can immediately go back into your little loop by tributing off Prior, bringing out Gantala. Gantala brings out Prior again. So you got a lot of different ways of getting Prior to your hand with these 3 cards, and a lot of ways of keeping the field presence. If for some reason you need to, you can always go into a rank 7 for some nice little destruction effects, either with Draco Sack or Silver Monster, with Big Eye, or just stall out some more with Master of Blades. It's pretty cool. Alright YouTube, and there you have it. That was my deck profile. Remember to go ahead and go on over to my channel so you guys can see ImCole40's version of the deck, and then let us know who you think made the better build down in the comment section of either video. So finally, I just want to say thank you once again to ImCole40 for allowing me to come on to your channel and talk to you guys today. I very much appreciate it. And I guess that's going to do it for now. This is Galactic God, out.